G'day, I'm Rob Douglas. I'm at the Derby Wharf, Derby, West Australia, the Kimberley region of WA, the far north of the state. We first came here in 1986, my wife Robin and two boys, a baby and a toddler. I was to be the first pastor of the Derby Baptist Church. The church had been going for a few months, meeting in the schoolyard or in a schoolroom. The opportunity came recently to come back after 30 years to be the locum pastor of the church while the pastor was on long service leave. So I jumped at the opportunity to come and to serve in this way. And I want to take you for a little bit of a drive through Derby now and just to share with you a story that has been quite meaningful to me as we have come back 30 years later to see what God is doing. We're going from the wharf now into Derby, and Derby's surrounded by mud flats. On three sides of Derby is surrounded by mud flats. I think for some people that's what life's like. They're surrounded by the mundane and feel that there's no hope, no purpose in life. I'm reminded of Jeremiah who quoted the Lord who said, "I have plans for you. I know I have plans for you. Plans for good and not for disaster. For a future for you and hope." I think that's brilliant. As I look back on my life, I certainly recognise that God had plans, and He's in control, and whatever happens, I can trust Him, and He is trustworthy. We're coming into Derby town now. When we were here 30 plus years ago, things were pretty tough. The church wasn't able to pay me full time, and so I had to get work to support the family. I had a whole range of different jobs. One of those jobs was at the hospital, cleaning the theatre on relief staff, so there was 2 nights a week, all night long. It was an interesting place. The nurses didn't like to be there because they reckoned there was a ghost there. But I think what was there was worse. The staff area of the theatre, I'd go in there regularly and find ashtrays there with cigarette butts and ashes, empty beer bottles. So we're going through the main street of Derby now, Clarendon Street. Just coming up to the hospital here. I wanted to take you to the hospital just to show you the place where the old theatre was originally situated. This part of the hospital was just being built when we were here previously, but they removed some of the old buildings, including the old theatre where I used to work, took them up and took them out to a block, or various blocks out of town. And just inside the emergency department here there's some pictures of them actually removing those old buildings. Let me take you out now to see what they did with them. The buildings were brought out here, and over the years they changed hands a few times. Ultimately, it was bought by the Derby Baptist Church and renovated. You can imagine my surprise when we got here, and I realised that the old hospital theatre that I used to work in was in fact the Derby Baptist Church, where I would be working and in fact living here as well. So come on inside. I worked out that this is probably the door that I would have come in when I was working in the theatre, and probably this area that's now the kitchen, certainly in that area, Somewhere was the original staff room for the theatre, and it was a pretty dirty, grubby sort of place. Then over this way is what's now the church auditorium, was originally the hospital theatre. You can actually see still up on the roof the place where the lights would have come down over top of the operating area, which is now the place where we meet together and worship God. I wonder how many lives were saved in this building, how many people's health was restored. But now it's a church, a place where people can come to hear the good news of Jesus. We can experience God's life-giving power in people's lives. Hey, if an old building like this can be moved and taken and restored and turned into something new, then surely God can do that with our lives. He can change us. We might be like living lives like the mudflats, surrounded by mundane, lack of hope, lack of joy, lack of purpose. But God can bring new life. It's been a privilege to be reunited with this old building, to see the way in which it's changed over the years, and to be reminded that God is in control, that He has plans for us, a plan not for disaster but for good, plans for future and a hope. And I just want to remind you that God is in control. Whatever happens in life, we can trust Him. And He wants to make us new. He wants to refresh us and to bring His grace and His hope into our lives, that we might enjoy His presence forever. God bless.